Shady V after dark, where every story leaves its spark. Laugh a little, stay a while. Every episode has its own style. Late night energy, lighten up the night. Shady V after dark, everything feels just right. Turn it up, lock the door. You never know what's waiting in store. Every laugh, every spark. Welcome to Shady V after dark.
Welcome to Shady V After Dark, the place where the filters come off and the conversations usually start with, "Don't judge me, but..." This is the late night edition of the show where episodes contain strong language and opinions that might make you laugh or cringe. This podcast is intended for adult audiences and may include discussions about relationships, personal experiences, language, or other mature themes. Listener discretion is advised. So dim the lights, settle in, and join us for honest conversations, bold perspectives, and a few surprises along the way. This is Shady V After Dark. Let's get into it.
Hey y'all, today's episode is for every woman who feels touched out, overwhelmed, exhausted, and still expected to be in the mood. We're talking about how to go from sensory overload to sensual connection without guilt, pressure, or performance. I'd like to welcome Miss Jovita Valley back to the show tonight. Jovita is the owner and CEO of La Diva's Intimacy Boutique. Hey, Jovita, how are you tonight?
I'm fine, thank you.
Well, welcome
How are
back.
you tonight?
You know, I have cooked dinner, have eaten dinner, have cleaned the kitchen, and most importantly, have prepared an adult beverage. Strawberry margarita, something kind of fruity, kind of fresh, kind of sassy, just for tonight's episode.
That you are on point, and that looks so delicious, and you are definitely prepared. So I'm ready, and welcome. Hello, everybody.
Jovita, would you like to, just for any new listeners, kind of give a quick bio?
Yes, ma'am. Again, my name is Jovita Valley, CEO of La Diva's Intimacy Boutique. And for over 21 years, I have helped women and couples navigate their real challenges of intimacy, from low desire and hormonal challenges to disconnection in relationships. So I want to make sure that they can rebuild with confidence, continue communication or begin communicating, and having that genuine connection again with my wellness products, tools, accessories, etc.
Well, Jovita, I mean, there's no sense in keeping our listeners waiting, so let's jump right in.
You got it.
Let's start with sensory overload. What do you mean by sensory overload, and how is it affecting women's intimacy today?
Yes, most women today, they aren't lacking desire. It's more of they're overloaded because we as women, we've got so much going on. We're managing the households, the careers, the kids, then the expectations of just wanting to get everything done on our checklist. And by the end of the day, our nervous system, we're tapped out. It's like, if I have one more thing I need to do today, I'm happy that I even got 3/4 of my checklist done. Okay.
Yeah, I hear you.
So when your partner reaches for you, or I should say when a partner reaches for them, there's times that it doesn't feel like connection. It just feels like I just said one more thing that someone wants. And that's what we call a sensory overload. And the last thing I want to mention about this is intimacy cannot thrive in a body that feels stressed, depleted, and especially rushed.
Because like you said, it's a checklist, right? It's just one more task I have to complete before I can go to bed and start all over again the next day. It's a lot.
Exactly.
So I know a lot of women feel like their libido has just disappeared. Is that really what happens to us as women?
Yeah, I thank you for bringing this up because a lot of women think that or they feel that they are the only one. But here's what I want to mention is please women really hear me out on this. You're not broken. So what's happening is your desire has gone into protection mode. When your body is stressed, you've got hormonal shifts also that are happening or may start to happen. You're feeling mentally exhausted. And libido is the first thing to shut down. So it's not gone. It's just waiting for the right environment to feel safe enough for it to come back.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I said I left work, sat in traffic, rushed in the door, cooked dinner, ate dinner, cleaned the kitchen, fixed my drink. And while I was eating dinner, I was like, I am so hot. Is this one of those hormonal changes? Am I having a hot flash? Or is it just from being rushed? I'm going to tell myself that it's from being rushed because, we're going to fight that perimenopausal bitch as long as we can. So, Jovita, you mentioned something very powerful. And I know we've said this in previous episodes about women being broken, right? That's something that we've said it before. We feel if something's not right, something's off, we don't have the desire to participate in sexual activities. We just don't feel sexy anymore. We just feel blah. We don't feel attractive. We feel like we're not attractive to our partners. We start to think that we're broken. I really love how through all these episodes you have said, we're not broken, we're evolving. Our desire is not broken, it's responsive, right? It can't thrive in the stressful environment. It needs peace, it needs quiet, it needs tranquility in order to bloom, right? It's kind of like a flower. So,
Beautifully said. Yes.
can you explain a little more about that? That it's not, our desire isn't broken, it's responsive?
Absolutely. A lot of people think that desire should just show up out of nowhere. But for most women, it doesn't work like that. As we evolve into our relationships, things, we start to have kids, think life, all of that. So that means desire is responsive, meaning it shows up after you start feeling relaxed. It's not impulsive like it was in the very beginning of your relationship in the past, just you were just so anxious and ready to go. And yes, and you're in love with, not that you're not in love with your partner, you still are, but again, it's a different type. Your desires changed. So after feeling relaxed, connected, stimulating, then you're waiting to feel in the mood before doing anything again. So you stay stuck in a way sometimes because the mood follows the moment, not the other way around.
Early on in relationships, it's very lustful.
Yes.
Right? There's a lot of lust because it's something new.
And exciting. Yes.
We get into our routines and our ruts. And like you said, it's not that we don't love our partners, or it's not that we're not interested or we don't find them attractive anymore. It's we're in a rut. I like that. I need to remember that. Desire isn't broken, it's responsive.
That's right.
Well, Jovita, so why do you think so many women feel disconnected from intimacy, even when they do love their partners?
Because what I want to explain the two things, love and desire are not the same thing. You can deeply love your partner and still feel disconnected physically. That's what we're honing in, physical part. A lot of women carry silent resentment, exhaustion, and that mental load. And, women can feel guilty because at the end of the day, they're like, oh, I don't want to feel this way, but I'm just, I'm tired. It's one more thing I need to do. But, I did promise them Tuesday night at 7:30. And there's times it can create distance when you have the guilt, you have the feelings. So, and then if a woman doesn't feel supported, seen, or emotionally connected with her partner, then that's another side of the spectrum here. Her body is not going to open up sexually, of course. So that in turn is not rejection, it's protection. So there's two ways to look at that on the relationship side.
these conversations that we've had have really opened my eyes to a lot of things. So
Oh,
I'm glad we're
good.
having these conversations.
Yes.
Just now you were like, well, I promised him Tuesday at 7:30. That would be our sexy time. Let's talk about scheduling intimacy, because people hear that and they immediately cringe. I always thought that intimacy had to be spontaneous. But through these conversations with you, I'm learning spontaneity isn't always going to do it, especially if we are overloaded. So we need to plan it out, just like we said in one of the other episodes. We schedule the important doctor's appointments, the important vacations. Can you explain to me why scheduling intimacy works in lieu of the spontaneity?
Yes, and I know I did say the Tuesday at 7:30, is jokingly, and I know some women sometimes like, but then it's like, let's turn this around positively, okay? People hear that and they think, oh, like you just said, it kills the mood because, oh, it's just, spontaneity is always the fun way to go. But no, when you schedule it, it actually creates intention. It means it's important to you. You know you're going to go through with this. You want to. You can get everything done that you need to get done, and then you can have, okay, now let's get to the nitty gritty of it. What we were going to do. We schedule everything else that matters. So why not connection?
Right.
And I'm going to tell you, scheduling also removes the pressure off of spontaneity and replaces it with the anticipation, because sometimes if you do something spontaneous, that's what it is. It's spontaneous. Like, oh, well, I don't even have to have that Zoom meeting tonight. So let's get, but then a woman needs time to warm up. It's not really spontaneity like we think it is, but again, that's a different kind of pressure you're putting on yourself if you do that. So at least when you're scheduling, it tells your partner you matter, this matters, our time matters, and that alone can start rebuilding connection. Even if you're scheduling at 15 minutes, 20 minutes with your partner, and it doesn't mean you have to have sex, connection time, talking, you're not interrupted with the kids, you're sitting there, you're just touching each other, caressing each other, holding each other and talking. That's always so great too, is just starting the connection.
Well, for me, Jovita, I'm crazy. I'm just going to say no filter. I'm going to say what comes to mind.
Yeah.
Like for me, scheduling intimacy, we're so busy, like you said, that there's times when I'm like, I jump in the shower. I need to hurry up, jump in the shower, get out, that I don't have time to shave my legs. If I'm scheduling my intimacy, then I know, hey, this is going to happen this date, this time. You better prepare, primp, and everything that you need to do to make yourself feel good.
And there are times if you don't have time to shave your legs and you've taken care of everything else, believe me, your mate is not going to matter. It's not going to matter.
It's not going to matter. Yeah.
To us it does, but to them it will not. Just saying.
They could care less. But for us, it makes us feel better, which,
Understand.
So why does intentional intimacy what does intentional intimacy look like for a busy mom or a career woman who has zero time?
Yeah, thank you for asking that, because I kind of touched on it a little bit, but I'm going to go a little bit more in detail. So as I mentioned, it doesn't have to be a full-blown hour with your person. Okay. If you want it to be, great. But if it's 10, 15 minutes, you could start with that, move it up to maybe 20, 25 minutes. But the bottom line is focus, distraction-free connection time. Okay. That means no phones, no rushing, just touch, conversation, just being present together. Because this day and age, with all the social things going on, the phones, the iPads, the whatever, it's like, put the phones down. Even when you're being with your family, what I'm making more of a habit is I'll take a few pictures and then I want to be present. Now, I want to be present with my partner. I want to enjoy this time together. So intimacy is about quality, not quantity. And when it's intentional, even small moments can feel powerful. So when you get that scheduled rhythm down with your partner and setting that expectation, then you can add more time. Like I said, you can move it up. And then you start you start scheduling, it becomes a habit to where
Okay.
both of you can look forward to.
Okay.
Even if it's twice a week, you know what I'm saying? Then you're both going to look forward to that time.
And I know there's probably some couples out there where one of the individuals in that relationship is thinking twice a week. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I mean, you know what? Let's be real. If it comes down to twice a month, great.
Yeah,
You've got a starting point and you
right.
can build from there. No pressure. I'm not trying to tell everybody, hey, y'all got to do this, twice a week.
Yeah.
Start somewhere.
I mean, twice a week, you're going to blow his mind, maybe
Yeah,
literally.
really. And some people are, already,
Yeah,
I do have some clients, that are even more than that and great for them. But
yeah,
again, you got to start somewhere. Yeah.
baby
Baby
steps.
steps.
Let's talk about like busy schedules and not necessarily just moms, right? Just females in general.
Mhm.
Our bodies are different. They respond to touch differently. It takes longer for us to warm up and all of that. And we hear about self-care, like take the me time, right? Me time could be a manicure, a pedicure, a massage, a facial, a haircut. But there's also me time in the bedroom. I call it me time in the bedroom. And that's when I pull out the little box that has all the special toys and gadgets and whatnot to help relax. Sometimes you need just that to relax. When women do facials, when women do manicures and pedicures, there's a kit, right? You've got a toolkit with all of your skincare products. You've got a toolkit with your manicure, pedicure tools and polishes and gels and all of that other good stuff. What about a toolkit for sensual purposes so they can go from stress mode to that sexy time or that sensual mode?
Yes. So, what I want to talk about first is, the stress mode to sensual mode, like you asked, but I'm going to start with the emotional piece first
Okay.
because we have to calm our bodies down. We got to calm ourselves down. And going from hurry, 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 stress, 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 get things taken off the list. Okay, let me get in the bedroom, get things going. You want to take a few moments for yourself, take some deep breaths, pause your mind, take a few deep breaths, calm the nervous system. Because if you don't start there, nothing else is going to start going very successfully here. You got to.
And then we get turned into let's fake the O's and just go
Yeah,
with
rush, rush, rush. You don't want to do that.
Right.
So then engage your senses. Get, light some candles, get some music going, the lighting, turn it down, dim the lights a little bit more if you want. Your body is responding to that environment, getting in the mood already or, with the surroundings. Then, start with your body, not your thoughts, the touch, the movement, self-connection helps, shift you out of your head. So you can start thinking way into desire, be present, and you have to feel your way into it. Your little kit that you talked about. Yes. Have your lubricant now going to the physical things that you're
Right.
touching, your lubricant, your enhancements. If there's a fun flavored item you want to try together, something like that. If you just want to start with something, you've got that ready. So, but first and foremost, yes, the mindset, the body, the environment, getting that ready to go.
So the toolkit doesn't necessarily have to be toys.
Mm-hmm.
It can be just sensual lotions or oils.
Correct.
And it doesn't have to be a sexual touch. I know just rubbing body oil on my, is it the décolletage, right? The upper chest area, the shoulders, the arms, to kind of help lessen the stress, kind of help get you in the mood, if you would. So toolkits, again, don't necessarily have to be toys. It can be the candles. It can be, like you said, the music, the lighting.
Right. And you can communicate to your partner, just the kind of day you've had and what you're setting the expectations. I'm a little sore. My neck has been hurting. I would love to have time to or explore some of the, this new massage oil that we have. I'd like to, like to rub you down in certain areas that he's had a tense day, and talking and connecting and massaging and touching each other's bodies. That itself is that's a great evening right there.
Yeah.
And if it leads to something, okay. And
Then even better.
if you're already communicating with your partner that, I just would like to do this tonight, then they know what to expect. Again, sometimes things can change, but at least you're setting the expectation. So yeah, great segue for that of the toolkit. Again, can be the mental aspect, and then bring some other products into that.
And we've talked about this, and I want to make sure that our listeners understand intimacy doesn't necessarily mean intercourse.
Correct.
Intimacy is that time together. It's that quantity time, that alone time where it's just the two of you. So speaking of toolkits and quantity time and preparing our minds and our bodies, how can women reconnect with themselves first before they even start to think about their partner?
Yeah, this is so huge, because you can't, first of all, expect your partner to ignite something you haven't connected to yourself. So that means reconnection starts with giving yourself permission to feel good again without guilt. So I was talking about guilt earlier, because how you may feel of, oh, I got to get this done, and you got it done, or I don't want to. And let me tell you, once you get in there with your partner and you start being in the moment and relaxing, you're going to be so glad you set aside that time. You may not think that in the beginning, but you will feel better. But again, once all that starts happening and reconnecting with themselves as a woman, explore what feels good, slowing down, being present with your own, being present, as I mentioned, mindful, but in your own body. Because I've always said women are not like microwaves. We're like crock pots, and we need that extra time to simmer and get aroused.
Yes.
So pleasure isn't selfish. It's necessary. So I don't want to hear about anybody having any fake O's. You need to get those O's, ladies, okay?
Yes. It'll make you feel so much better.
Yes, it will.
Stress?
Yes.
What stress?
Exactly. And let me tell you, when you start having those O's, didn't mean to interrupt you, Veronica. I was going to say, you sleep better. You do.
Yeah.
Your blood pressure is better for you. I mean, just it's circulating through all your tissues. I mean, hello. There's so many reasons why O's are important.
Yeah. So like our listeners are our best friends, right? Yeah. We're all BFFs. So I'm just going to say this. I'm sure I've told some of my girlfriends, if not all of them, but there have been times when it's just so stressful and I'm like, I can't sleep. My mind is racing, just can't seem to get relaxed. And guess what? Reach into that drawer, pull out that special box. And after a few minutes, clean up and sleep like a baby.
Exactly. Get you some quick O's, and there you go.
And catch some good Z's.
That's right.
I just now talked about reaching into the drawer and pulling out the box with all the goodies in it. What role do products or external tools play in helping women rediscover their pleasure?
So they play an important part, as they're not a fix, but they are there for support. I call them my wellness tools. Okay. So the right products can help awaken sensation, increase confidence, and remove frustration, just like we were talking about.
Yes.
So to kind of go into a little bit more detail with that. So if you've got women dealing with dryness, lubricants, of course, is going to help you feel more comfortable. If you have low sensitivity, enhancements are beautifully designed for that. And there's different types, because bringing that blood flow to the important areas of the vulva and the clitoris are so important. That's what's going to help, of course, increase the libido, get us aroused. And then when you have the hormonal changes, again, how those products work well with that to
Mhm.
help with those changes. So again, the sexual wellness tools can bridge the gap between where this woman is or where they are and where they want to be. So again, I want to emphasize, last thing, it's about enhancement, not replacement, and helping you feel more like you used to be.
For our men that are out there listening, please, please, please don't think that your partner is trying to replace you.
Exactly.
It is an enhancement tool. It's just there to help things move along, because as we talked about in our previous episodes, there's that orgasm gap, I think is what we called it, the orgasm gap. So
Yes.
speaking of gaps, the pleasure gap, right? So we've talked about the orgasm gaps. Let's talk about the pleasure gap. What are men missing, and how can couples communicate better?
Yes, it's not a myth, as I've said before. The pleasure gap is real. And a lot of it comes down to lack of understanding, unfortunately, and lack of communication. So many women aren't fully experiencing pleasure, not like they should.
Mhm.
Men were never taught how to support that. So the fix isn't blame, it's conversation. So honest, open, judgment-free communication about needs, desires, and expectations, that changes everything. So I cannot stress enough how important it is to communicate the body changes that a woman has to her spouse, partner, and the same goes for the spouse to her. You're a team, okay? His challenges may be what his challenges may be, and that he may have, and feelings and emotions that goes along with that as well. Because once your partner, and you know about your partner knows about you, feelings, emotions, all that you put everything, all your cards on the table, then you're going to be able to understand what are challenges, what that person's feeling, then how you can, or vice versa, how you can start working on that together.
Okay. Teamwork, right?
Yes.
Jovita, I have one more question for you, ma'am.
Sure.
And this is for, I want to say woman, but it could be a guy. What would you say for any person who is hesitant or might even feel ashamed about exploring this area? Like, what advice do you have for them?
I would say you're not alone. There's nothing wrong with you. So many women were never given permission to explore this part of themselves without shame.
Mm-hmm.
This is due to culture, several reasons, generational beliefs, lack of education, but intimacy is part of your wellness. You deserve, ladies, gents, everyone, to feel connected, confident, and fulfilled. And it's never too late to rediscover that.
This whole topic, tonight's topic about sensory overload and getting past that and feeling sensual again. And we've been talking about how to take care of ourselves and get ourselves in the mood. I have this written down. My dear friend Shelly Sylvie from Adjacent Podcast, she and I were having a conversation, and she said this to me once, and I wrote it down, and I have it in my binder, and I'm thinking about having it printed so I could hang it on the wall in my office. But it says, I can't take care of you if I don't take care of myself. And that's in life, that's in the bedroom, that's everywhere.
Exactly. That's beautiful and so, so true. Can agree with that more. What I would want to close and add to that is pleasure isn't something you earn, it's something you deserve. And if you've been feeling disconnected, overwhelmed, or just not like yourself, again, you're not broken, you're human. And there are tools, support, and safe places to help you reconnect. And that's exactly why, big part of my mission, why I created La Diva's Intimacy Boutique.
And thank you for doing that, Jovita. We've talked about this before. I've purchased from Pure Romance and some of those other companies that are out there. But your business is more than just selling product. You're there to help women, men, help individuals, couples, whomever, understand what their bodies are going through, what they can do or use to help get past those challenges. So thank you for what you do, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me. And yes, I'm so glad we discussed this. This was a great topic tonight, and I hope this helped many people, many couples, many individuals.
Well, I know it helped me, so.
Great. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we close out for the night, ma'am?
No, the only thing I just wanted to say is I invite everyone to my different platforms if they want to check out info about me, reels, information about different topics, products. I do have my Shopify website at www.ladivasintimacyboutique.com. You can find me on Facebook under Ladivas Intimacy Boutique, and on TikTok, same name, Ladivas Intimacy Boutique, and finally on Instagram. It's _Ladiva _Jovita on Instagram. So,
and I will share all of your social media information in the podcast notes.
Thank you for that. And I thank you so much for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for joining us tonight and for enlightening us. And I look forward to our next episode. Should we give them a teaser? Should we leave it? So the next episode, for those of you that are interested, the next episode, we're actually going to talk about these items that we can keep in our toolkit. We're going to talk about the enhancement creams, the lubes, the toys, maybe like what you would want to start with if you're a beginner, I don't want to say hardcore, but to the more advanced products, and even products for couples.
It's a little bit of something for everyone. Seriously. Yeah. Beginner, advanced, in between. We're going to cover it all.
That's right. So if you want to learn something about these tools, check us out. Thanks, Jovita. Have a good night.
You too.
Well, that's all for tonight on Shady V After Dark. If you laughed, learned something, or started drafting a response in your head, then we did our job. Don't forget to follow the show, leave a review, and come back next time for another round of unapologetic conversations and unfiltered opinions. Until then, stay curious, stay authentic, and remember, there's always another side to the story after dark. We'll catch you in the next episode of Shady V After Dark.
The lights may fade, but the stories stay. Until next time, good night from Shady V After Dark.